everyone. I just wanted to get together with you and talk through a little bit about the project that's coming due in just a couple of weeks. So I'm going to get started here. I want to keep in mind that this project seems kind of tough, but it really is not so bad if you take it little by little. I've set up the rubric so that there's basically a couple of short papers that you all put together. So let's go through the paper. Here it is, the final research project. I do want you to add to the discussion board what topics you'd like. I've had 6 people put in their posts talking about what they want to do. And there's some really great projects that are going to be doing. If you haven't decided yet, you still have time to get it done, but you need to do that and spend some dedicated time figuring out what you want to talk about. Keep in mind, a lot of people do hurricanes. I think they're okay. I like some fires. Those are really cool papers to do. Ice storms. You could do anything that's kind of interesting to you. Maybe think about how it relates to you personally. I think that would be a really great thing. So let's see. Let's go to this project rubric here. And so what you got to think about is you're trying to show me that you understand how everything we've done in class kind of goes together. So our main objectives are over here that are going to have impact in the United States since the year 2000, and talk about 5 basic subjects. The meteorology of the event, right? This is a meteorology. This is a science class. You need to tell me about the science. If you're doing a severe thunderstorm outbreak, you need to tell me what's leading to that. You know the basics of each of the weather hazards. You should be able to talk to me about how they go together and give me some overview. You can even quote me in your paper. Because again, you're showing me you're paying attention, you're listening, you're learning about how this all works. This is going to be a really important section, so don't skip over this one. Really get to the heart of it. Then you're going to talk about the National Weather Service information. And that's going to be really important for you to show me watches, warnings, statements, area forecast discussions. You're going to have visual outlooks. If you're doing severe weather, it's a convective outlook. If you're talking about a hurricane, you might want to do hurricane track cones. You want to look at when the watches were issued and how that impacted people. If you're doing fires, you can do fire weather. You can look at drought as antecedent conditions. All those things that we've talked about in class, you should be able to put into this paper. Now, this link here, I've opened this up here. It just takes you to this page and it'll give you information on top on how to find things. So these are products that have been archived at Iowa State. If it says AFD, that's the area forecast discussion. That'll give you some of the reasoning that each meteorologist team may have had at the local office. But if you go way down to the bottom here, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. You go to SWS, these are going to be your watches. So if I click on one here, for instance, this is a winter storm watch, and you can go look for it up. You can look at the dates and when you're going to be looking for this kind of information. So these are all ways that you can get information. Something that might be really good is start with Wikipedia. A lot of times Wikipedia on a major event will have an overall view, and you can use that as a framework for what you're going to be talking about. Don't quote Wikipedia, but Wikipedia should be quoting other articles in the bottom in their bibliography, and you can use that. So if it's coming from the Weather Service, they'll have a lot of things about watches and warnings and statements. You can use it and you can find it there. It's really not that much research. It should be fairly easy to find a lot of information. If you're not finding a lot of information on these big events, you're not looking in the right place. So start with Wikipedia and build from there. The third section of the paper is impacts. Well, this is where you tell me what happened. Talk to me about the event. I'm going to tell you something here. It doesn't have to be super like academic sounding. You can talk about stories that you've heard from people. You could read newspaper or television accounts of what people experience. You can talk about the impact. If it's an event that maybe you know about personally or someone in your family or friends, you can use their anecdotes to really make it an interesting paper. I want to be swept away with cool things. If you're excited about a topic, show the excitement. Don't be boring. Make it fun. Then you have a section on prior readiness. Now, this might be a little bit shorter if you can't find it, but were people ready for this? And maybe you can find something from this class that go, I would never have thought this, but now I know what people ought to do. And then the last section is, what were the lessons learned? Okay, lessons learned in this event. How did people react to it? What should have been done? You can give your opinion. I think there should have been more information. I think the government should have acted better. I thought they acted very well, maybe. You know, we're learning that hazardous weather kills people, whether they're prepared or not. But maybe they weren't prepared, or maybe they were prepared and they need to do something different. So those are all really good parts of this. Now, keep in mind, this is 3,500 to 4,500 words. Now, that's not going to include, you know, citations and stuff, but this should give you about a 10-page paper. So each one of those sections is about 2 to 3 pages. You have 5 2 to 3 pages, and it's really not bad. I'm saying have 11-point font, 1.5-inch line spacing. Use diagrams. We're going to look at that in the rubric. Use diagrams to really, and then talk about the diagrams if you need to. Cite references with simple parenthetical references. See this example in Wikipedia. Talk about it. You don't have to do super high inline references or footnotes. And then just tell me what are the things that you read at the end of the project so I can see what your references are. Something important. Hey, pay attention. Make sure that you submit this paper as a Word doc. Okay, I need a Word document, not a PDF this time. So I need it to be in a Word document, or you can make it a Google Doc, something along those lines. I need to be able to get in there, okay? Because I'm going to be checking references and resources, and I'm going to be checking for how well you didn't plagiarize. Okay, so make sure if you're quoting something from a specific fact or something interesting, just make sure you're putting a little citation like, I got this from here, as opposed to making it your own. This is your own paper. And again, I'm more concerned about the quality of what you say rather than the quality of the method that you say it. Okay? I mean, all those things are important. You want to make this professional, but I'm more interested. Show me what you know. Okay? Let's see. Here's what your project should be addressing in here. If you can answer those questions within the paper, that would be great. Keep in mind too, write a paper and then do transitions between the sections. You can even put bold headlines. Make it something that is easy for you. Take good notes, get good information, write a rough draft, and then please write it a second time. Go fix things, review it. Don't just write crappy stuff and miss simple errors that you could have fixed, okay? So how do you do this project? First, think of the weather situation. Pick the specific event. Remember, it's in the 21st century, since the year 2000, in the United States. I've had people who turn in tsunami things from Asia. Not going to work. It's got to be in the United States. You can use Puerto Rico because they have the National Weather Service there. Okay, start with Wikipedia. You can look at this MedEd case study, chapter 6, the backbone. You're not doing the whole chapter 6. You're not going to turn in a quiz on that or anything, but it is going to give you an idea of what a case study might look like. So that's what you want to do. Think one small paper at a time. I've given you some major events to think about, and these are kind of cool ones. And you can certainly find your own, whatever, right? But again, what's the most important thing? Show me what you know. Use stuff we've learned in class to make a paper, okay? That's how this is going to work. And make sure it keeps to the right number of words. That should be, you should be able to do that. Let me look at one more thing on the rubric, okay? Meeting objectives. This is about, 50% of your grade. It's really important. Then the quality is about 25% of your grade, using diagrams, and then your professionalism and effort. Show me that you've worked really hard, even if maybe you're not very good at writing stuff, but you put in a lot of effort. You can get a good grade on this paper. It's going to be this first thing where you leave out some of those objectives and not including diagrams. That's where you could lose some points. But I think you can gain these points. I've seen some really good papers from students of all backgrounds, all different qualities. Sometimes, again, I'm going to read a lot of papers. And what I want to do is read a paper and be so absorbed by how cool this is to read. And trust me, I know these weather events. So show me something interesting that you bring into this project. And then I'll be happy and you'll get a good grade for that. Okay, this is a pretty big chunk of your grade. So if you haven't started, get going. I know a lot of you have already started looking at information. So I'm anticipating some great work. All right, that's what I need to say. Here we are. Let me get to the controls. Stop the sharing. There we go. Keep going on all the projects. I'm still giving you some chance to turn in some assignments if they're late. There's a bunch of you that are keeping right with the course. That's great. I'll give some announcement. You basically have the FEMA test and then the final exam is coming up in this paper. So some of you are doing a really good job. If you're getting, even if you're getting 60s percentage on the test, that's still probably going to get you about a C in the class if you're turning in everything. And there's a bunch of you doing really good work and you're staying with it, and I'm proud of you. You're doing a great job. Okay, guys, if you have questions, feel free to write to me and ask, or we can set up a time to Zoom together or whatever. But if you need any help, let me know. If not, continue, end the semester well. Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye.